So it's been a while since I've recorded an actual cooking video. The last cooking video I did was just me throwing Reese's cups into a blender. So I don't remember how to make one of these. Hey, sup, bitches? Is that how I intro? Do I have an intro? What am I doing? You can probably tell by the title, but I'm making pretzels. There's no complicated backstory to why I'm making pretzels. My friend made pretzels, and he's like, hey, they turned out good. So I'm like, hey, I'll do that too. Following a recipe, so hopefully they turn out well. It's only the second time I followed a recipe, and the first time, by the way, I didn't fuck it up. I thought I might have fucked it up because the lemon bars tasted like egg, but my mom made the same ones. They tasted the exact same, although my parents and my brother all said they tasted the lemon, they didn't taste the egg, so maybe my taste buds are just broken. But what isn't broken is my recipe following ability. That I did fine. So this one, in theory, should turn out fine. Maybe the pretzels taste like egg. I don't know how. There's no egg in the recipe, but again, my taste buds might be broken. So yeah, we're making pretzels. I got yeast, so let's go do this. Hey, just realized that I didn't turn the microphone on. Luckily, I basically just started. You probably saw me eat a chip for no reason. I'll probably voice over that. I'm still suffering a little bit from that. What I'm doing, in case I didn't voice over it, I got the water, I got the yeast that I'm gonna add to the water. That's the first step. I got butter melted. Did it melt? It just finished. It's not even close to melted. Maybe I shouldn't have started with frozen butter. But I need to add the yeast to the water. Oh, that's came out. I didn't realize it was gonna just spill out immediately. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have started with frozen butter. Gonna guess the mic picked that one up. Probably should have stopped that a little earlier. But the thing is, it wasn't even close to melted. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but I guess that's what happens when you start with frozen butter and put it in a microwave. It pops pretty heavily. The inside of my microwave is probably absolutely fucked now. Get out of the packet. All right, I think that's good. Let me check the damage with the microwave. Inside of the microwave is mostly fine. The plate is a little bit buttery, but that I could just take that out and put it in the dishwasher. Whisk the yeast into warm water and allow 1 minute to sit. Okay. All right. I think that water's yeasty enough. Let's start with whisking. While I'm waiting, let's figure out what I need. Whisking salt, brown sugar. Don't have that, but it does say granulated sugar is a good like thing. I'm still slightly suffering from the chip. Melted butter. Okay, got the melted butter. We need the salt and brown sugar. 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of sugar. All right, salt, that's what I need. Oh, I see the yeast already working. I see bubbles. That's, I know that's how yeast works, so I shouldn't be surprised, but I didn't expect to see it working immediately. Sugar, I have a fuck ton of sugar. Can I need what, 1 tablespoon? There's a cup in here. Does this have a tablespoon mark? Oh boy, it sure doesn't. I guess I just gotta use my actual tablespoon. Tablespoon of sugar, and then the butter. which I don't know if that was a tablespoon anymore because of how much it popped. So these might be low butter pretzels. It'll be fine. It's just low butter. I mean, it means they're healthier, right? That's all that does. It has nothing to do with taste, right? I will say, at the very least, I think the butter does have to do with taste. It doesn't have to do with structure. So they might still be pretzels, just might not taste as good. Like, I don't think this is gonna cause them to just not become pretzels. Hopefully. I don't know. I don't cook. Why would I know? The butter doesn't seem to really want to whisk in. It seems like it's just staying on top of the everything. I'm gonna assume it'll mix in once I start adding the flour. Also, this says I need a wooden spoon or dough hook attached to stand mixer. I don't have either one of those. I have a plastic spoon. Does that work? Slowly add 3 cups of flour, 1 cup at a time. Okay, I don't know. That's powdered sugar. Don't want that. I don't know if I have 3 cups of flour in here. I do have another bag of flour. I just didn't want to add it because I thought I would overfill it. I should actually be able to use this. Also, does this say spoon and leveled? Oh, it sure does. So I need to, like, actually measure the right amount of flour. Flour apparently is one of those things you don't fuck with, and you absolutely try to get the exact amount. How is this a cup? This is 1 cup. But I can't really level it because the cup is like up, it's like below the syrup. I'm just gonna get my other measuring cups. Is there a good way to do this? Probably not. As for leveling, let's get a knife. That's probably the easiest. Butter knife, help. Doesn't matter if I spill flour because I'm gonna need to put flour all over this countertop anyway. I did clean the countertop first, so that's good. But I'm going to have to put flour all over when I'm like kneading the dough anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That seems like a lot of flour too. That was 1 cup. And that already seems like a lot. I need to put 3 and a half, 3 and a quarter, somewhere around there. I'm not supposed to be whisking this. I'm supposed to be spooning this, right? Yes. Yes, I'm supposed to be spooning this. The whisk doesn't exist anymore. The whisk can fuck off. I genuinely don't know what the difference in using a wooden spoon versus a plastic spoon like this is. Is it just the shape? Because the wooden spoons are like generally flat. They're not really spoons in the sense of like you're not like ladling stuff out. Or is there something with like the taste? No, I doubt it has anything to do with taste. I don't think the wooden spoon makes something taste different. Oh yeah, that's getting thick. That's getting real thick. And that's only 2. That's only 2. I still need to add a whole another cup and then possibly up to half a cup more depending on the consistency of the dough. It seems like a lot, but I'll trust the recipe. I'll trust the recipe. Although, I do see it is basically just a paste. It's not really a dough yet. Also, I am gonna need this other thing of flour. I do love the fact that the thing of flour says, cook before sneaking a taste. Who the fuck is just tasting raw flour? Like, I understand the cook before, because it's the same thing with eggs. Like, you might have bacteria or whatever in it, E. coli or whatever the fuck flour has. But the whole cook before sneaking a taste. Who's tasting flour? I mean, I guess they're talking about like if it's in a batter, which usually if it's in a batter, I guess except the pretzels, you don't want to sneak a taste because of the eggs anyway. So I don't know. Yeah, because raw flour, I'm gonna ignore their warnings. It just tastes like nothing. That seems very powdery. I'm assuming the flour is gonna... Oh, it is starting to turn into dough though. I do see dough forming. I mean, you can see it's like an actual dough. I mean, it doesn't seem like the consistency it needs to be. It seems like it's a little too wet still, which I guess is why I'm adding more flour. But it is actually a dough. That is... Dude, flour's weird. Flour's fucking weird. Oh, 3/4. Oh, I thought it said another quarter. I have to do a whole 3/4 of a cup. That's way more than I thought. Well, let's use all of my measuring cups to measure the flour. That's fine, because I don't have a 3/4 one. I have a 2/3, a 1/3, a 1/4, and a half. So I guess I'd have to just drop everything. That's exactly what I have to do. Oh, my arm is getting tired. Well, not even my arm, my hand. I don't know if I have a good mixing technique. I mean, probably the bowl shouldn't be like an arm's length away from me, but I don't really have the space. I have everything in the way. I need a bigger kitchen, but that requires moving, and that sounds awful. I don't want to do that. I thought the left hand would be easier because it's not tired. It's just making it harder to control. I'm not left-handed. This is hard. This is not working. I might be at the point where I should just like mix with my hands. It might be easier if I just like get in there and mix with my hands rather than trying to use a spoon. Because it's just so, it just doesn't, the spoon is not working as well as it was. Ooh, that's a weird feeling. That's a really weird feeling. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to knead that. Oh, this is sticky. I mean, I'm gonna have to knead it anyway, so I guess I gotta get used to the feel, but this is not good. Yeah, there's so much flour in the bowl that doesn't seem to want to mix in with the dough, but the dough feels like it needs the flour to be mixed in. It's a weird conundrum here. If it's still sticky, add 1/4 to 1/2 cup more as needed. So I am allowed to add more flour, so I guess this isn't as exact as it sounded. You're supposed to be absorbing the flour, taking it inside you. You're not supposed to be letting it go, and you're just not supposed to be sticky anymore. Please stop being not dough. That's what I got right now. It is actually not that sticky anymore. It is actually, I think that extra 1/4 cup of flour did work. That actually was what it needed. Oh yeah, that's actually, I feel like the right consistency based off of what it says. Poke the dough with your finger. If it bounces back, it's ready to knead. I don't know if you could really call that bouncing, but it's not sticky. So I think it's good. Turn the dough out onto a floured surface. Well, shit. We got everything in the way. I need to like carefully move everything without dropping shit all over my floor. I couldn't think of the word floor for a second. How much flour does floured surface need? That seems like that was way too much. I got flour on my Keurig. No, I don't want flour coffee. I don't want to put this back in the thing. Let's just put this off to the side in case we need it. I can just clean that up later. Okay, I was wondering where the disaster part was gonna come in. I found it. It's here. It's now. Knead dough for 3 minutes, and shape into a ball, cover lightly with the towel, and allow to rest for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I like to get the water, baking soda, blah, 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 blah. Yep, sounds good. Sounds fucking fantastic. Am I kneading it right? Like, is it just like a gentle knead, or should I be like... that absorbed a lot of impact. That was impressive, actually. Or I'm just weak. Actually, that one, absolutely. I punched it with the power, all of the powder. Power. You know what? Fuck it. Doesn't matter. It was what the joke I was gonna make is that I'm basically as strong as a 2-year-old. But you know what? The moment passed. It doesn't matter. All these dough bits are falling off too. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. Is the dough too dry now? Did I add too much flour? I don't know what's happened. I'm actually adding a little more flour because I started kneading it in a different way, pulling out the center, and the center's still sticky. I don't think the center got all the flour it needed. So I think I needed more flour. Yeah, like the more I'm like folding it this way, the more sticky the dough is. Like it feels like it didn't actually, like I floured the outside layers, but the inside just didn't get any flour. So maybe me pouring flour out onto the table, like way too much flour, maybe that actually worked out. Maybe it was actually a a blessing in disguise. Or I'm imagining things and trying to justify my overuse of flour. Not really sure. Okay, shape into a ball. That's, it's not really shaping. It's not really shaping into a ball. It might be too dry. I might have made it too dry. I might have added too much flour now. Whoops. So, good enough. Let's put it in here. Cover lightly with the towel. I don't have a towel right now, so let's just wash my hands and go get a towel. I also realized I didn't take off my watch. That was probably a stupid decision. Hopefully this towel's big enough. It's not. That's good enough. So I'll let that sit there. I'll go get the water ready and start preheating the oven, get the baking sheets ready. I'm just gonna do that off camera because I'm gonna be boiling water. It's not that hard. I know how to boil water. I promise I won't put any oil in it. So let's go do that. And I'll be right back when this is done. All right, it's been 10 minutes. I don't feel like this has risen at all. It seems like it's roughly the same size, but I didn't screw anything up with the covering it. It just says cover lightly with a towel. It doesn't say like a preheat, done. Other than that, it says line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper and silicone baking mat, silicone baking mat, if using parchment paper, lightly with butter. Okay, I have a prepared one with parchment paper and butter. The problem is I only have 1 baking sheet and it's a small one. It's supposed to be able to fit 6 pretzels. I'm gonna be lucky if it can fit 3. We'll see how many it can fit. Other than that, let's move on. Also, boiling the water, but it's not boiling. I think I had the heat too low. So that'll happen at some point. With a sharp knife or pizza cutter, cut the dough into 1/3 cup sections. Okay, 2 things. First of all, I have a pizza cutter. It is currently covered in pizza, so I don't want to use that. I have plenty of sharp knives. We'll figure that out. Second, 1/3 cup sections. Am I just supposed to eyeball that? How am I supposed to measure 1/3 cup of dough? Like, I could use the measuring cups, but I feel like that's not what it wants. This is supposed to make 12 pretzels. I'll just cut it into 12ths. You know what? It might have. I can't tell whether it grew or just settled. That might be bigger. That might be bigger. Okay. It might have got a little bigger. I mean, this one looks like it's supposed to be a bread knife, and the pretzel's light. That's almost bread. Yeah, let's use the bread knife. Oh boy, I see why it needs to be sharp. This dough does not like to cut. It's also still sticky in the middle. I added so much flour, it seemed so dry on the outside, and it's still sticky in the middle. I also still have not bought a cutting board. That's like the one thing I don't have that I have needed almost every single time I've done one of these videos. And I just, refuse to get one apparently. Let's see, that's roughly the same size. So those are 3 of them. Also, I guess these don't really need to be the same size. I kind of want them similar, but they don't really need to be the same size. It's pretzels. You can have some pretzels that are smaller, some pretzels that are bigger. The size of the pretzel doesn't matter. It's not the size that counts, it's the taste, and they're gonna taste awful because I made them. So it's gonna be bad no matter what. It doesn't matter what size they are. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some big boy pretzels and some not so big boy pretzels. Again, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Where am I putting these? Let's just move them off to the side. I guess I can put the knife off to the side too. Got 1 thing of dough and it says roll the dough. You're getting loud, shut up. Let me turn down the heat a little bit, just so that doesn't boil over while I'm not looking at it. Roll the dough into 20 to 22 inch rope. Form a circle with the dough. Oh, it's telling me how to make a pretzel. I don't need to know how to make a pretzel shape. Also, it's not rolling. It is very, unwilling to roll. Oh yeah, this is incredibly dry. This is not going to turn into a good pretzel. Again, this is like 1/3 of the thing. How is this supposed to turn into a 20 to 22 inch rope? There's no chance. It's going to be like a thin as fuck pretzel. There's no chance that's the length of the rope. To be fair, some of the other ones don't seem as dry. This one just seems really dry. There's like 1 section that seems really dry. The rest seem mostly fine. Those will probably be good. This one is not gonna be a good pretzel. This one is gonna be a pretty bad pretzel. Now, the shaping, it's like, That's not it. At Annie Ann's, I've seen them do it. They like lift and almost, I guess. I got like the top half of the pretzel. Okay, twist the ends together, bring them towards yourself. The fuck do you call that? There's no way with that amount of dough. I feel like it didn't rise as much as it should. That's the pretzel. That's tiny. I might fit all 12 pretzels on one baking sheet. Let's be honest at this point. Bring baking soda and 9 cups of water to a boil. Got it. Drop 1 or 2 pretzels into the boiling water for 20 to 30 seconds. Any more than that, your pretzels will have a metallic taste. All right, so since it's the first one, I don't really need, move camera, you fucking uncooperative bitch. So mostly because I don't want to move the camera back and forth, I'm only gonna do one of these. It's boiling a pretzel. It's not gonna go that bad. Famous last words. I also don't have a timer, so I'm like counting in my head, and now I'm talking, and that's just ruined the counting. I'm at like 15 seconds. It's roughly 20 to 30 seconds. It's in that range at least. Slotted spatula, I actually have one of those. Let it drip. That is a soggy pretzel. That does not look... Hopefully it gets appetizing later on, because that does not look good. Ow. Ow. That is hot. Oh no, the pretzel shape. No. Let me show you what happened. It broke apart. It didn't stay pretzel. All right, that one, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll deal with it. Again, the shape doesn't matter, just like the size. What matters is that the pretzel tastes good, and it won't. So nothing matters. Nothing matters. Let's be honest. I have eaten the dough raw, and it'd probably be more appetizing than what I'm gonna get. Okay, let's do the rest of the dry ones, because there's like like I said, the 3 that just seem very dry. The rest seem like the centers at least have some stickiness still. Like, for some reason, they just don't have as much flour. I mean, these kind of feel sticky inside, but it's not, they're not, oh, I should have done that with that one. If I knead it, the stickiness comes out, and now it still doesn't roll. I think these ones are just way too small, because there's a 0% chance I'm gonna get 20 to 22 inches long and have it still be like enough of a pretzel, like thick enough for a pretzel. I think I like understand the theory. It's the execution I can't do. Like, I know it's like throw it up to get that twist, and then the circle part goes. It might also be these pretzels are way too small, because the pretzels at Annie Ann's are big fucking pretzels. It's a lot easier, I feel like, to get that twist by throwing it. The small pretzels, it just, you don't have the space. Or I'm just making an excuse as to why I suck. So that's a possibility. That's how big the pretzel is. I shouldn't be able to hold these pretzels in the palm of my hand. So it says 12 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I should stick with 12 minutes in the oven. Possibly even 10 if they're all gonna be this small. Yeah, I can't thin it out anymore, because if I thin it out too much, it just breaks, like it doesn't stay in one piece. So I think that is as big as the pretzel's gonna get. And the shape did not stay after I boiled it. It just turned into, I don't know, it won't stay. No, it broke. I should have been filming this one, no. I can just show you, that's the aftermath. And that's only half of the pretzel, the rest of it broke. I'm gonna do at least one of the bigger ones, because I wanna taste these, but then there's something I wanna do with the rest of the dough. Like, I wanna do half the pretzels as just normal pretzels, see if I can get the pretzel shape, which apparently I can't, and see if I can get the pretzel taste, which is still to be determined. But then there's something I wanna do with the rest of the pretzels, but I kinda need enough dough to be able to do it. And if I take one of the bigger chunks and it still cannot turn into a long enough pretzel, I might just have to stop at 4 regular pretzels, combine the other 8, and cut that into 6. Because I have 6 ideas. I will say the pretzels, the like dough does seem to have expanded a little bit with the baking soda bath. All right, yeah, let's try one of the bigger boys. See if we get bigger pretzels. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to combine the pretzels. I think I'm gonna need bigger pretzels. The thing is, so did I already explain what I forget? I've been suffering through these. What I want to do, the rest of the pretzels, I want to, so these are going to be the normal pretzels. These are going to be just, let's see how they taste. Let's see how they turn out. The rest of the pretzels, what I want to do is try to make other shapes. So non-pretzel shapes, not the twists. I do want at least one twist to work though, but I don't want just normal pretzel shapes. I'm going to try to make art with the pretzels and see how they turn out. It's gonna turn out bad. I will say that one did work out better. I think keeping it on the spatula and just dipping it in rather than dropping it into the pot, that seemed to work a lot better. I didn't do that for the other three, but that one at least kept its shape. Now, the first one did keep its shape. Whether this one keeps its shape on the transfer is another story. Oh my God, we have one pretzel. One like actual pretzel. We've got this. So we've got like this blob. That was the first one. The like split just turd, whatever that is. This just sort of a pretzel. It didn't go too bad, but that one actually stayed the pretzel. That one actually stayed together. Let's pretzel salt it. I got actual pretzel salt. What's the best way to do this? I don't want too much salt, but that might be too much salt. Just salt and some pretzels, hoping that they turn out edible. I followed a recipe and still somehow fucked it up, but let's hope the taste is not the fucked up part. All right, so let's put these in the oven. Let's go for 12 minutes. They seem smaller than I wanted them to be, so I'm gonna put them in for 10 and see, because it says or until they're golden brown, so I'm gonna wait. What I'm gonna do, I don't wanna spoil the art. Who knows how well it's gonna go. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn off the camera. Next thing you're gonna see is the tasting for these. While I'm getting through the tasting for these, I'll be shaping those, or while this is cooking, I'll be shaping those. After they're done, I'll boil them. I'll take those off of the baking sheet, boil those pretzels, put them on, hopefully be baking them as I'm doing the tasting. Then after the tasting, hopefully be able to do an art show of some sort. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Did you see those pretzels? Those were just normal twists and I couldn't do it. So, we'll see. But next time I see you, be at the tasting table, be back. All right, so I have some of the pretzels cooking. Apparently I ended up needing to do 2 batches because there were just way too many pretzels. But I do have the first batch right here. So let's analyze these. First off, the last one, the good one, absolutely stayed together. It's actually like crispy. Only thing is the bottom. I feel like the spatula did not let out enough of the water, or maybe because it was boiling, it would bring up a lot of the bubbles, and I feel like a lot of the water just stayed on. So yeah, that's, it's mostly only that pretzel. The rest are actually fine. Well, other than the first one. The first one actually, I thought it had a soggy, yeah, it has like this end is soggy right here. There's pretzel salt falling off everywhere too. But the end is soggy right here. I think that's mostly because it was just thrown on. It seems like it also expanded. I'm assuming that's partially because the yeast kept expanding as it was sitting on the baking sheet. Because I noticed that with the actual like pieces of dough that I cut up, the longer it took me to get to them, the more they expanded. Although a lot of it was just air, so as soon as I started kneading it, it collapsed in on itself. It could also be that it was sitting like soaked in the baking soda water for so long, maybe it absorbed some of that. I don't know if that's going to affect the taste or if these are gonna taste fine. I'm gonna start with the end one, and ooh, the center, I think that's done. I think that's done. I can't tell if it's like doughy or not. That's kind of the center. It seems fine. It doesn't feel doughy. I mean, I'll know a little more when I taste it. Again, the outside crispy. The outside's perfect. There's a little too much salt on it. And the pretzel salt that I had has like huge chunks of salt. If I could show it on camera, that is one of the chunks of salt. It's so, well, I dropped it. It's so big. I don't know why they didn't make these a lot smaller, but they're gigantic. Oh my God. That is a really good pretzel. That is genuinely shocking. That was genuinely shocking. Little too much salt. Little too much salt. And again, the salt is just gigantic. So you bite into one chunk of salt and your entire mouth's salty. But I can't chalk that up to the recipe. I can chalk that a little bit up to the salt and a little bit up to my recklessness with the salt, because I just like poured as much salt over it as I could, because at some parts it wasn't sticking to the pretzel, so I kept pouring more, and then it just stuck too much to the pretzel. But that is really good. That is a really good pretzel. That is shocking. Jordan B. Pretzels would be so proud right now. Let's try the first one. Obviously it didn't get the shape, but because it was sitting on the baking sheet for so long, I want to see if this is like doughy, more airy, what happened. It does look a little bit, I don't even know if the camera's gonna pick it up, a little bit at the top, which is the bottom of the pretzel. There are some areas that are like more yellow, like I don't know if that's just they like browned up, they goldened up, or if those aren't cooked as well. I mean, it still tastes good. It still tastes the same. This also isn't the section that was like gooey, but that is a really good pretzel. Holy shit. Did I follow a recipe right? This is awesome. My only concern now is where to keep all these pretzels, because it's supposed to make 12 pretzels. I ended up making 9, and 3 of them are double-sized pretzels. My parents aren't coming over for like another 5 hours, and then we're going out to eat, so I doubt they're gonna eat pretzels immediately. Do these stay in the fridge? I need to look at the recipe. They might stay in the fridge, and then you just like heat them up. I might be able to put them in the freezer and then thaw them out in like the microwave or something. They won't be near as good as they are now, I'm assuming. Because right now, even the first one, where it was like, I feel maybe not overboiled, but it was stewing in the boiled water for the longest time. These are really good pretzels. I don't know about the other ones, because like I said, 3 of them are double sized, so they might need to just be in the oven for a little bit longer. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm excited. Right, those ones are supposed to be judged on the art. Oh, I just remember how the art part went. That's the next part you're gonna see. Be right back. All right, the big boys are done. If you're wondering why I'm holding ice to my fingers, it's because we have our first injury of Eric Cook's stuff badly, or whatever this series, just cooking, I don't care. So what happened is, as I was taking the big boys out of the oven, well, I took them out of the oven fine. Then I was using the spatula to take them off of the tray. They were stuck a little bit to the parchment paper because I just reused the parchment paper, so it wasn't greased up enough. And like a fucking idiot, to stabilize the baking sheet, right on it. These 2 fingers, burnt. Only 1st degree. I don't see, they're fine. It's not a bad injury, but it fucking hurt. So therefore the ice. Anyway, big boys art review. This is gonna be bad. Let's start off with the best one of the big boys. So this was supposed to be a Pikachu. I didn't spread it thin enough, so I couldn't actually just do the shape of the ears. So I figured I would make the ends of the pretzels the ears. I didn't think it would hold together if I didn't twist them, so I twisted them. And it ended up looking more like just a rabbit, or like the Tauros symbol. So that one did not turn out like a Pikachu. The fact that I'm saying this is the best one of these 3. Now, here's the question, which one's which? That's really, they both, so the thing is, the other 2 fell to the same problem, which was the boil. Because both of these, I did 2 chunks of the dough, partially because I thought the other chunks were too little, and I wanted more detail in these, so I wanted to be able to make a longer pretzel to add more detail, and they didn't look terrible before I put them into the boil, but the spatula I had wasn't big enough, and I didn't like supplement it with the spoon or anything, so as soon as I put it in the boil, any shape just disappeared. They just turned into a circle, essentially, with like some twists and turns, and then putting them on the baking sheet, I just couldn't fix it. By that point, they were gone. Let's start off with this one. I'll leave this up on screen, give you 5 seconds to try to figure out what this is. Time's up. This is supposed to be a duck. Okay, I think I can get rid of the ice. I can't really point, oh my God, it is not staying together. So, you can see this is the tail, this is the body. The head is where the boil kind of fucked it over. This was the beak originally. This is where you can kind of see it splitting. This is where the pretzels originally met. And I twisted them together and like pinched it to make like a beak shape. And the head just kind of bent back. The duck broke its neck. The bill, I guess it's a bill, not a beak for a duck. It's just non-existent anymore. So that ended up not good. It's still not terrible because you can at least see where the shape went, and I won't completely chalk it up to my art skills. It didn't look great before, but the boil, the transfer is what really fucked it up. Now this one, give you another 5 seconds. So this one was supposed to be a dragon. A dragon based off of nothing at all, no logo of any company or of any sort. There was like spines over here, and you see they kind of like folded in on themselves. The snout actually did stay kind of together. It's just everything back here just, it died. It did not stay together. This dragon, it didn't, again, like the duck, it didn't look great before, but it ended up turning out pretty bad. It's a bad dragon, if you will. For anyone that doesn't get that joke, I'm warning you, don't look it up. Unless you're over 18, then you do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care, I'm not your mom. Now, for these last 2 pretzels, it's Pride Month. I think, when is this video coming out? What day is it? I'm not wearing a watch. Let's just assume that in my brain I'm calculating correctly and this still comes out in Pride Month. Pride Month, obviously, about equality, but also about one other thing. Love. There's a lot of hate in the world. So if you leave this video with one message other than the fact that you shouldn't take any sort of cooking advice from me, it's that not just in Pride Month, whether you're online, in real life, shouldn't be spreading hate, should be spreading love. Love and positivity. All right, so that was pretzels. That went way better than I thought, other than me burning myself, but that had nothing to do with the pretzels. That had to do with me being an idiot. So I chalked this up as an absolute win. The art did not go well. I mean, the heart and the plus sign kind of turned out well, but this is just not, ignore this. I'm just happy we got a win. I feel like I haven't had anything taste good. The popsicles, like the Pride popsicles, those sort of tasted fine, but like I was just freezing liquid. Anything I've cooked has not been good, or even all the peanut butter popsicles have not been good. This is the first thing that's like, this is good. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and not try to eat all of these and save some of them. I also looked up the recipe. Apparently I don't need to put them in the fridge or freezer. I can put them just in a container for up to 3 days and they're fine. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but that's, I think, what I'm gonna do. But for now, I'm gonna end this episode here. As always, if you have any ideas of what else I should cook, possibly something with yeast, because I can only think of bread. What the fuck else uses yeast? It doesn't matter. Look it up later. Put in the comments if you have anything else that you want to see me cook. For now, I am going to end this video here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.